With a lot of the clients I've worked with over the years, I've noticed that perhaps the biggest hindrance to their success is the lack of showing up consistently. So I hope that this video will inspire you to start showing up consistently because I've also noticed that my clients, my students, all of you who are watching are brilliant. You have so much to offer the world, and yet you don't show up on a regular basis to offer that value. And there are many reasons for this. I'll just say a general deep reason is a lot of self-judgment that results in procrastination. There's this idea that when you do show up to create content or to make an offer, to launch something, that it has to be done really, really well because you don't want to disappoint yourself. And you, of course, you don't want to disappoint other people as well. But I've also noticed over more than 16 years now of launching my own programs, services, products, and helping thousands of people do this, that you never know how it's going to go with a particular piece of content or a launch of an offering. You think, oh, I prepared for this. This is going to be good. And then you put it out there, and a lot of times, what you thought was going to be great, people might not really get it. But sometimes, something that you either prepare a lot or prepare very little, you put out there and you're surprised that people react to it a lot. In other words, you cannot predict with high accuracy whether the value you put out there is going to be received and understood and found valuable by your audience. So, therefore, what is the sane response to this? Not to prepare more. No. I think the most reasonable response, and one that I've been practicing for years now, is to show up consistently to offer what you've got today. Offer what you have prepared enough, not too much, but offer what you've got consistently. The key is to have a consistent rhythm of output. That's the key. Not just to, okay, I've showed up to prepare more, to work more on this offer, to work more on this piece of content. No, I want to know, how is your rhythm of output? Am I seeing a regular stream of content from you and a regular stream of gentle launches announcing your service, your program, whatever your course, whatever it is that you are selling? I want to see that consistent stream. And so years ago, I came up with this mantra for myself that clients found very helpful. And the mantra or the saying is, be strict about showing up, but be lenient about the results. Be strict about showing up to put the output out there, but be lenient about the results. Be unattached to whether or not people are going to react to a piece of content or to buy your offer. You don't, every time you put something out there, you learn. You learn about yourself, about the process of having created it, how it felt, whether it felt authentic to you, whether it's something you want to keep doing. And you also learn about your audience's reactions. You notice whether or not they really respond to something or respond a lot less than you hoped. Sometimes they respond a lot more than you expected. Of course, as you keep practicing strict about showing up, lenient about the results, your level of expectation for the reaction to your output gets more and more tempered. You say, you know what? I am more and more unattached to what people are going to think about this thing. I'm just going to keep showing up and experimenting with different ways of putting things out there. Yeah, you do need to experiment. Experiment as widely as you can so that you'll then notice which aspects of your experimentations are getting traction, which then naturally trains you to go more in that direction of what is getting traction. So, strict about showing up, lenient about the results, and I'll add one more. piece of this, and gentle about refocusing, strict about showing up. So whenever you have planned to write your blog post, to make your video, to work on, to announce your offer, to promote your services, whenever you plan to do it, show up and do it. Show up and do it. Show up for the work that you know needs to be done, and yet be lenient about the immediate results. You put it out there and then practice unattachment, whether or not anybody cares. Really, this is a practice. It doesn't come naturally, right? Because I've noticed that what comes naturally to soulpreneurs is the opposite of what I've just said. Most soulpreneurs are lenient about showing up for the work, and I'll tell you why later. They're lenient about, maybe you are lenient about showing up for the work. You say, "Oh, I planned to write the blog post here," or "I planned today to launch my offer, but I just don't feel like it," or "I think it needs more work." Okay, so there are these reasons, that the excuses you make. "Oh, but my friend, my family needs me." There are always going to be unlimited reasons why you need to put it off. Okay. So most solopreneurs are lenient about showing up and yet strict about the results. This is the opposite, right, of what I hope that we practice. You are lenient about showing up, you're strict about the results, which is why you're lenient about showing up, because you are, you are bringing self-judgment to it. You're bringing perfectionism to it. You are attached to what the results are supposed to be. If I put this out there, I'm expecting lots of people will like this, or anybody will like it. You're attached to that. Even you're attached in the beginning when your audience isn't that big. You're even attached to even one person liking it, two people, and you think if nobody likes it, then it wasn't worth showing up for. There was no ROI, return on investment. Hold on, hold on. What is the real return on the investment of you showing up? Actually, in my opinion, the real return is whom you are becoming. You are practicing and therefore growing your muscles every single time you show up to practice a particular skill, whether it's writing, speaking on video, creating and publishing an offer, sharing your services with the world, creating a course, launching a course. Whatever you're doing, every time you show up, you are practicing that skill. And the more you practice that skill, at least the more natural that skill becomes for you, and which then allows you to add additional skill to it, to add additional techniques to it, or to refine your process even more to make it even better, and at least to get some feedback from it. So every time you show up, you are for sure, the result is that, well, okay, the result I was going to say is that you showed up to practice. You know what's an even deeper result? Your integrity. When you plan to say, "I'm going to be writing at 2 p.m., I'm going to be uh, posting my offer to my audience today," and you show up and do it, the deepest result is your self-empowerment. And that's what I've noticed over the years as I've practiced this process of being strict about showing up, yet lenient about the results and gentle about refocusing. During the hour that I'm working, I might get distracted because the fear might come back. The anxiety might come back that maybe this won't work. And it's natural that it comes back. And then what do you do? Do you have a technique to calm your own anxiety? You probably do. A lot of people who are watching this are, fellow coaches and healers and mentors. You probably already have a technique to calm your anxiety, to um, dissolve your procrastination. You got to practice it. My technique is the energy reboot. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it, Energy Reboot George Kao, and you'll find my videos and articles about it. That's what I practice multiple times a day and multiple times an hour, usually, because I need that for my own anxiety and for my own perfectionism. So I practice the energy reboot in order to be lenient about my results and to be gentle about refocusing again and again during that hour, during those 2 hours, however long I'm working, to put that output out there. That by the end of the hour, this video must be out there. By the end of the hour, the article I said would be out there. By the end of these 2 hours or whatever, my offer is going to be posted on my social media platforms or whatever. Whatever I plan to do, I'm strict about showing up. I'm lenient about the immediate results. I don't know if anyone's going to react. I don't know if anyone's going to buy. I'm not attached to that. What I am attached to, the results we just discussed, was the deepest result being integrity, being self empowerment over time. And really, that's what I have noticed as I practice this over years now. I have become such a confident person of that anything I set my mind to, I can accomplish. I just need to keep showing up for it. Now I know that through real evidence in my own life, showing up thousands of times over the years. Okay. That is the deepest result. That kind of self empowerment, which then therefore leads to you showing up consistently to practice, which then leads to growing of your skills, right? And understanding your audience better because you put so much out there, you start to see their reactions or lack of reaction to the variety of experimentations you do. You grow in, like I said, in integrity, you grow in skill, you grow in understanding of your audience, and you grow, most importantly, well, most importantly, it's integrity, but you grow in self empowerment to say, oh, I realize now that anything I want to do, I know I can do it. It used to be the opposite for me. For much of my life, I didn't practice strict about showing up, lenient about the results, right? What I practiced was, I've already said, most of you do, lenient about showing up, strict about the results. And I think in part, this is what we are unfortunately trained growing up in the formal education system is we are very strict about the results. You have a grade, you turn in your test, you turn in your essay, you turn in your project, and the teacher will the teacher most teachers don't grade you on the fact that you were strict about showing up. Most teachers will grade you on some kind of a curve or some kind of like, well, the answers were wrong. And of course, as you grow up as an adult and build your authentic business, you realize there really is no wrong answers. It's about uh, becoming more aware of the becoming aware of your capacities, what you are really able to deliver to other people. And there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, are you delivering more value over time to other people? And so, because our upbringing, it's natural that we've become strict about the results. And that strictness about the results creates this inner reluctance to be strict about showing up because we know that we have time and again when we've shown up and we haven't gotten results, it's been discouraging. And so we don't want to show up for discouraging results. Of course, I understand you. Where's the return on investment, you tell me? If I spend time and energy doing this, what's going to be? You are using the formal education training that you've gotten to say, well, there's only a right or wrong answer if I put something out there. No. The right answer I'm going to suggest to you going forward, the right answer is to be strict about showing up for your work, to be lenient about the results, knowing that you're growing in integrity, in skills, understanding of your audience, and ultimately self empowerment to be able to experiment again and again and again, to be strict about showing up for that. So I really hope that this is making sense to you and that you will be practicing this again and again. And I'm going to give you a secret here. Well, um, so those of you who have watched my videos know, maybe know what I'm about to say. I did not feel like starting this video. This very video is an example of me being strict about showing up, but lenient about the results. I'll tell you what happened. I mean, today, every day has a story, right? Every day has reasons why I might not show up for my work. Today's reason was that I had to substitute. My wife is taking a class. That class is very strict to say you have to show up for every class. It's a language class, and so I was able to substitute for her because I needed to be a language partner for somebody else in the class. I'm teaching them English, they're teaching me Spanish anyway. So it was a unique day because I couldn't make this video this morning, which is when I had planned to do so. So I had to anyway, I did that thing. And then afternoon rolled around, and today is Friday afternoon, and I'm feeling particularly lazy. Friday afternoon, a lot has already happened this week. I've already done a lot this week. So I'm like, well, maybe I won't make the video today. This is my weekly video. And I'm like, no, no, no. Strict about showing up for the work. I couldn't do it this morning because of the personal reasons. But this afternoon, even though I feel tired, even though it's a Friday afternoon, even though I don't want to do it, I say, no, I'm going to be strict about showing up, lenient about the results. I don't, maybe nobody will like this video. I don't know. I'm going to put it out there. I showed up to practice. And that's what I wish for you as well. Show up to practice. Plan what your practice is going to be. You show up for it, knowing, trusting that your skills will naturally grow over time. At least your muscles will grow over time as you show up for practice. And of course, the practice that we are doing as solopreneurs is often things like putting content out there, putting offers out there, reaching out to people. And by doing that, you also learn what things you put out there are getting no reactions versus a little bit of reaction versus more reaction. And then you get to learn, therefore, about your audience, about your market over time. Be strict about showing up. Be lenient about the results. Don't judge yourself. Just be unattached to what happens. And to be gentle about refocusing again and again because you're going to be distracted. You might be anxious like I am. You might be perfectionistic like I am. But you gently just do your energy reboot or whatever technique works for you to calm anxiety, to dissolve procrastination. Gently refocus again and again and again. And put out the thing you put out, you plan to put out consistently. So I hope this is helpful. I look forward to seeing your comments below if this resonated with you. If you have any thoughts about this, I look forward to seeing it. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Now, get to practice. I wish you well.